Hello sailors and welcome back to Sailing Here. I'm Faye, this is Rob, and this is our Welsh terrier, Yewy. After a few nights being rolled around Ramsgate, it's time for us to fulfil our dream and sail reach out to France. But first, we get a special delivery.
And also behold, Ramsgate. It's been called a roly port, and yeah, it's not wrong.
Look at the size of this thing! That was a mission. They tried to deliver it yesterday and then it got returned to sender, and then we tried to ring the Royal Mail, which doesn't work, and email the Royal Mail, which doesn't work, but Twitter, or X, worked, and they managed to get through to Ramsgate delivery office and then try again today. This ended up going to the port, so I had to go like a big trek, which was nice, but they were very friendly, and I had to walk past all these signs saying like no pedestrians, no admittance, like don't, like just, you're not allowed in here. But we went through anyway, and we have the tea. Good evening from Ramsgate. It is just coming up to 10 p.m. The plan tomorrow is to set our alarms for 7 a.m. Go and get Yewy nice and tired. She's over there sniffing. Do our engine checks and then leave here at about 8:30 in the morning. Radio the harbour control on channel 14 before we head off. Sail to France, check in at the marina, get on the bus, go to the port, clear customs and relax. That is the plan. We've made the plan, now we have to execute the plan. And fingers crossed by this time tomorrow, we'll be enjoying some nice sparkling wine and patting ourselves on the back. I've had some anxiety today. I'm just worried that we haven't ticked all the boxes and crossed the T's and dotted the I's, and it's just because we haven't done this before, and just because, you know, I love Yewy so much and I don't want to get any of that wrong. But yeah, it's going to be amazing when we get there. It's going to be completely crazy to wake up in France having sailed there on our own vessel, having just come up with this crazy idea a couple of years ago. I can't wait. Bring on the baguettes and the croissants and everything else. Good morning, it's passage day. We're going to go to France. Yeah, I'm still a bundle of nerves. Rob seems to be very chill. Yewy's doing what Yewy does, having a sniff and a wee. And behind me, you like angle over there. I don't think you're going to be able to see, but I can see France. I can see where we're going. It's time for the off. There's le petit chien et mon mari. Tu es content?
Je suis très contente.
The plan is chuck the midship line back on the boat, and then climb on, slip the bow, slip the stern, and we're off. Tout canard pour le petit chien. Well, there was a bit of a traffic jam there, wasn't there?
Yes, there was. Sorry, I'm just getting pulled into this port can.
Let's have a look. You can see the tide on the port can there. So basically, to aim over there, we have to point over there. That's my very scientific way of explaining it.
29 nautical miles to France, to Calais, from Ramsgate, which is one of the shorter sails we've done, which is nice, or shorter sails we've done for a while. We've got full springs today, so the water around here is moving very, very quickly indeed. We've got a full spring flow on our beam at the moment, on our port beam, and it's pushing us down southwards before we want to go southwards. So we've got about 10 degrees of leeway applied to the helm at the moment, just to keep us going in a straight line on this long straight channel out of Ramsgate to avoid a shallow called Goodwin Knoll. Then we're going to turn into the tide a little bit. It'll be like being fired at the bullet of a gun. But then once we get into the main English channel, the tide is going to be still on our beam and it's going to be pushing us way past Calais. So we're going to be again about 10 degrees of leeway kind of to the port of Calais, so that we can hit the entrance, or not literally hit the entrance, but not have to then fight the tide to come back on ourselves. So we'll see how we get on.
And to illustrate what Rob was just talking about, you can see here's us and here's our track coming out of Ramsgate, and this is the Goodwin Knoll that we are coming north of to avoid. Yewy, what are you doing?
There's no wind, Yewy. We can't get the Genoa out. It's pointless.
Are you trying to smell France? Does it smell of cheese? You love cheese. Come on, what we got here? Du fromage? Yes, good girl. Ooh. Nice. Turns out Yewy just wanted to spew. Nice.
Sometimes you've just got to be sick something.
Bless her, that's the first time she's been sick on board, I think.
It's because she's been given too much ham and cheese.
You can't have too much ham and cheese. The spew has been successfully cleaned up, thanks to both Yewy and myself. Back to the skipper.
Yeah, I don't know what I was talking about earlier on. This is the first time that we've had a sideways on tide. The tide has either always been coming against us or going with us as we've gone around the UK. And this time it's on our side. Now, if we were going to be going through this side on tide and it was all going to be on one side for the whole journey, then yes, apply 10 degrees leeway against it. But I think on this particular journey we're going to be taking one way and then we're going to be taking the other way in approximately equal measures. So I think we're just going to aim at Calais, be drifting downstream, so southwest through the channel, and then when the southwest to northeast stream starts, it'll bring us back. And I'd rather be kind of southwest of Calais when we get there to be going with the tide into the harbour entrance. I did see that on a Tom Cunliffe video one day, and it was about half an hour long, and that was about the gist of it there in those few seconds. And this is probably the first time, when I was looking at this passage last night, it's probably the first time I would have preferred to have a paper chart. A paper chart with a little tidal diamond. You can calculate your course to steer, based upon the changing tide patterns through your passage. I haven't really figured out a way to do that with Navionics, other than, trying to guesstimate what the net effect of the tide's going to be and try and apply a bit of leeway that side. So yeah, paper charts definitely have their pluses when you're dealing with cross-tidal streams. So obviously we've got no wind, and you can't sail a boat if you've got no wind. But we've got a flat, calm sea as well, and today we've got brilliant visibility, and I'm glad we've got good visibility because we have to cross the shipping lanes in the English Channel today, and I can already see that they're going to be busier than the Thames estuary was. Not that we could really see much in the Thames estuary, but the AIS is already on, obviously, and there are lots of green dots going through, so gonna have to keep our wits about us, aren't we?
We are.
Yeah.
Already spotting them on the horizon.
That's it, it's a thing about good visibility.
Hi.
What's occurring, gang?
We're just looking at the ships and the fishing pots and a porpoise.
Yeah.
Yeah, the porpoise are always so much more shy than dolphins, I think.
So this kind of completes our circumnavigation, really. I know we started off in Eastbourne, so we'll... Eastbourne? Eastbourne, that's how a northerner says it, Eastbourne. But there was no real reason to go back around there, so we decided to depart from Ramsgate, but that kind of completes the circumnavigation.
Yeah,
so
there's like a tiny smidge.
There's a bit, and obviously the top of Scotland as well. But what did you think about the East Coast?
The East Coast... It's long stretches. I think if someone else was going to do this, my advice would be have a smaller boat or have a bilge keel so that you can dry out, and then you've got more options, you can explore more places. We just had so few options really, between the tides and the size of our draft.
Yeah, so I think like compared to the English Channel, part of Wales and then Scotland, obviously there wasn't a lot of options on the east coast.
No, not really at all. And like the northeast coast, so like coming back across sort of the Scottish border into Newcastle, that had a lot of things to see. There was all the castles, beautiful long beaches and stuff. I just felt like there was more to see. And then as we got further south, it became a bit more. There was still some pretty views, but it was more industry and like lots of cranes and dredging. So it wasn't quite as pretty as other places that we've been. But the fish and chips have been
pretty good, mate, weren't they?
Consistent all the way down this coast.
They have. We haven't had a bad one yet. So yeah, I think Faye's spot on. I think sailing around the UK, if you're thinking about it, honestly, go for it. You'll not regret it. It might not make sense, but if you look at it, it probably won't. The only way it won't make sense is financially, to take time off work or whatever. But I'm telling you, go and do it if you want to go and do it. Don't let anything stop you. And if you are looking to do it and you're thinking about buying a boat, consider a bilge keeler. Honestly, I would if I was doing it again, because not only is it going to open up so many more places that you can go to, but it'll make your passages much shorter as well. You know, you'll not really need to do 70, 80, 90, 100 milers. You might just nip round the corner and just dry out on a wall or something like that. So I think, yeah, if I go around the UK again, probably do it in a bilge keel. I see good old Blighty getting smaller and smaller in the distance there. We've turned the corner. There's Blighty behind me, and we are heading off now at nearly 7 knots, which is nice. Now we've got the tide going with us. It's we've always dreamed of this, leaving the UK and you know, going further afield, seeing the world on the boat, and it's finally happening, you know. So it's been very difficult to get to this point. It's been really hard, but if you've got a dream, it should be difficult to make it happen, you know. Otherwise, think of a different dream. Think of what if it's think bigger. Yeah, definitely, that's it. You know, wow, everything we've been through to get to this point, and hopefully in the morning I'm going to eat a croissant from a boulangerie, and I'm going to have a baguette for my lunch, and I might even have a plate of fruits de mer, but I'm definitely going to have plus de vin. Woohoo! And we're in the shipping channels. 4 big ships there. They're not the one I'm really concerned about at the moment, because the one I'm looking at is this one. Closest point of approach, 0.1 mile in 5 minutes. We'll go around his stern. Hasn't made a course adjustment yet. I have, and I will continue to do so until I'm behind him, or her, the person, them. And I've had to make quite a big adjustment there, about 70 degrees to port there. He's making no effort whatsoever, which is weird, because I mean that was happening, like, you know, because that was happening over like the last half an hour. So a couple of degrees either there, you know, would have been fine, but this is the world we live in. We're in the sea now, sea rules apply. So for the last, well, at least an hour, I've been stood with my tricolore, our courtesy flag for France. We have to fly a courtesy flag in foreign waters. This is going to go on the starboard side of the boat, and we are about 0.5 miles away from the border between the United Kingdom and France, so it's time for it to go. Oh, it's caught!
No! There we go.
Hey!
Binocular cam. This boat is carrying wind turbine blades, stacked very neatly. Very interesting, never seen that before.
And we must be in France because our phones say welcome to France, and on the radio everything's in foreign, well, in French. And after 200 days each of French lessons,
Duolingo.
I can't understand a word they're saying, which is
No, we don't know any. We're like, je ne sais pas, je ne comprends pas, lentement s'il vous plaît.
oh bugger. Oh well,
At least we know the important stuff.
we do,
Vin,
we do.
camel,
Yeah,
fromage.
we do. We're gonna be fine.
Okay, we're making our approach into Calais. There's some huge ferries coming and going. We've got permission to enter the harbour now. That looks like a very nice long stretch of golden beach going down to some sand dunes by the looks of it. First impressions, looks very nice. We think it's going to be pretty busy going into the port. We've got good instructions. Stay to the western side and follow the light instructions. Can't wait to get there. I think Rob's timed this one quite nicely. There is 19 minutes until the next bridge opening, which I think we're going to get pretty spot on, fingers crossed. Otherwise we have to take a mooring buoy and then wait it out until the next one. You'll be keeping an eye on all the other boats. There's a couple of other British flagged yachts in here as well. All waiting for the little bridge. Yonder. It is late. We're in France.
We're in France,
We're
but
moored
not
up.
legally at the moment.
But we're rafted, and we've come for a wander to get to the Calais ferry terminal, so we have to get the bus there, and then we should be able to go through customs.
Yeah, we've got to go find the police aux frontières who are in the port, basically, at the ferry terminal. So yeah, a bus to get there, and then 350 metre walk, and then press a button on the side of a building somewhere.
Give them lots of
And
papers.
hopefully someone will come.
Wish us luck.
We have our paperwork. So we're on the little bus. It's a free bus. That's nice. Oh, we can see a gold building in the background. Oh, racing turn. That's the gold building. Well, you can't really get lost because there's nowhere to go other than along this road. So we're just going to keep on trucking. So we've met with the police aux frontières. He's just taken away our documentation. Not interested in the boat papers, but absolutely lovely fella. And it turns out that with the dog, he's not interested in the dog paperwork. We need to go to customs to take the dog paperwork, which is down that way. Okay, so we found customs and spoke to another lovely gentleman there, and he looked very confused. He's like, okay, you've got a dog. Loads of dogs come to France. What do you want? I was like, oh, well, you need to sign page 8 and stamp it.
He's like,
He's like, this is not an obligation. I was like, okay.
you're fine.
He says, you can go to France. Right. So we're going to go to France. That's us checked in.
I think we're
to our
in.
first country, baby.
Yes.
Wow. Hey, I tell you what, that wasn't too bad. I mean, like beyond getting off on a bus and stuff like that, and trying to find out where you're going, it wasn't too bad at all. The people were really, really nice.
I think no, check your paperwork. It's all good.
But that's the thing. No one's checked any boat paperwork at all. Insurance, registration, the radio license, our qualification. No one's checked a goddamn thing. But all right. Well, I mean, we came, we saw, and we were told to just go and get pissed in France, really.
So we did. Then the next day, it was time to explore the city we would call home for a few days. Join us on a stroll around Calais.
Have a guess what they sell in there.
What? In La Maison du Fromage et des Vins?
It's literally just cheese and wine. It's heaven.
What have you been getting?
Well, it was buy 5 get 1 free. So,
It would be a crime not to.
And we have, I said, pouvez-vous me recommander 3 fromages pour ce soir, s'il vous plaît?
Ah.
She said, le fromage de région, so from here. I said, yes, please. And we have one made with beer, we have a creamy one, and we have a very strong blue cheese.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, fort.
We'll see how I feel about that one. Looking forward to trying it.
Can't wait.
Yeah, should we return to Le Bateau?
Well, that's the thing, yeah.
It's nearly time for our first dinner in France. Last night doesn't count because we got a kebab. Shh, don't tell anyone that. We're topping up the wine.
We have to have wine. We're in France.
And then we're going to have some very nice cheeses, and Yewy will need the cheese tax.
She will need cheese.
Cheese tax.
Oh my goodness.
What am I having?
This cheese is so blue it looks like it came out of a morgue.
It does have very green parts to it. Okay. I'm not usually a big blue cheese fan.
Now wine.
That's really nice. It's not in your face, almost artificial blue cheese. It's really just creamy, and that's really nice.
With the wine.
Yeah, very nice. Très bien.
Got 3 different types of local cheese. A creamy brie type affair, something made with beer, and a bloody stinky blue cheese there. This is the strongest blue cheese they had. I thought would go for it. Forte, and some grapes, some crackers and some baguette, some tomatoes from the market, cucumber, some big red spring onions, 3 different types of sausage. We've got hazelnut, pepper, or chilies, and what was the other one?
We'll find out when we eat it.
Happy?
Very happy.
Très bien.
Je suis très content.
Yewy, do you like French cheese? Do you like French cheese? Kiss, kiss. There you go. You do like French cheese.
Of course she does. Thank you for coming along for the ride again, sailors. Hop on board again next week when we discover Ramsgate wasn't that rolly after all. Like, comment, share and subscribe, and as always, fair winds.